welcome to my channel. Today we'll be taking a look at the rule breaker scene from John Wick, Chapter 2. This is the second installment in the John Wick franchise, and this scene occurs towards the beginning of the movie. If you haven't seen this film, there will be spoilers ahead. So if you don't want to be spoiled, stop watching now. The previous John Wick film was released back in 2014. In case you forgot what happened in the first film, let me catch you up. Retired hitman John Wick is forced out of retirement after his 1969 Ford Mustang Boss 429 was stolen by a pair of Russian gangsters and then killed his dog, which was a gift from his late wife. John then went on a mission to find and kill the gangsters and get his car back. At the end of the film, he was finally able to get some closure when he killed the main antagonist, Yosef Tarasov, and then returned the car to the Russian mob untouched. But this act of kindness was not reciprocated by the mob boss, Vigio Tarasov, who was Yosef's father. After killing John's dog and stealing his car, Vigio had murdered 3 people that were dear to John. Vigio had also hired hitmen to hunt down and kill him. And although John managed to defeat all of them, he wasn't unscathed. He took a bullet to the shoulder and knew that if he didn't get help, he would bleed out and die. Luckily, he made it to a hospital and was saved by an old friend. In this next installment, John finds himself in a world of trouble after he broke a rule that was central to the entire criminal underworld. You see, when John returned the car to the Russians, he technically broke the No One rule, which stated that no cars were to be left with a body inside. Even though the car was returned undamaged and no one was technically hurt, word still got out that John Wick had killed members of the Russian mob and Vigio wanted revenge. As a result, John was forced to go into hiding. However, an old friend from his past, Santino D'Antonio, came looking for him and informed him that he had a job for him. This job would take him to Rome, where he would have to assassinate a member of the High Table, the governing body of the criminal underworld. Santino promised that if he did this job, he would clear John's name and remove the target from his back. So John accepted the offer and flew to Rome to meet with Santino. When they met, Santino told John that the person he was going to kill was his sister, Gianna, who was a member of the High Table. John was shocked and refused to do the job, but Santino reminded him that if he didn't do it, he would be killed. Suddenly, John felt a sharp pain in his chest and looked down to see a dart sticking out of his heart. It turns out Santino had stabbed him in the back and was now escaping through a secret passageway. John pulled the dart out of his chest and threw it at Santino, who quickly ducked out of the way. The two then engaged in a fight, but John easily overpowered Santino and flung him over a balcony. John then stood over Santino's broken body and delivered a brutal message to the remaining members of the High Table. He said, "I know you think this is just a job, just another collection. This isn't a job, this is personal." This was an extremely intense and action-packed scene. It was exciting to see John come back, and just as badass as he was in the first film. Keanu Reeves really brought his A-game, and the fight choreography was fantastic. Now, let's move on to the next scene. The whole reason John Wick became a hitman was because he was framed for a crime he did uncommit and had to kill someone to protect his own skin. Now he finds himself in a similar situation. After killing Santino, John becomes a marked man once again and must flee for his life. He hides out in a friend's safe house until his friend, Marcus, helps him escape Rome. John then makes his way to France, where he reunites with an old friend, Sophia, who helps him get a new identity and settle down for a while. John thinks he's finally free from his old life, but he's wrong. One day while walking down the street, he's confronted by a group of assassins sent by the High Table to retrieve him. he easily dispatches them. But they were just the tip of the iceberg. More assassins came pouring in, but they too were no match for John. And that is a wrap on the rule breaker scene from John Wick. Chapter 2. What did you guys think? If you liked it, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Also, if you haven't seen any of our other videos, you might want to check them out. We do top 10s, character analyses, and so much more. Thanks for watching.